Hello, I welcome you all to today's wonderful lesson. This is Wake Up School at 5, and in this particular lesson, we've got this important question that I want to revise with you, that I want to answer with you. As you can see, this question is falling under a pendulum. So these are questions that get to come in an exam. Even as I teach you this, I want you to understand all the concepts that are used, how to go about this particular question, and how to answer it. So even as we get to start, I want you to follow me properly and attentively. So these are questions that get to come. You need to know how to find two things here, and these are the two questions that I've put here: period and frequency. So you need to know how to work out these two questions if they are to come in an exam. How to find the period of a pendulum, how to find the frequency of a pendulum. So these are two important things that you need to know as a student. So these two things, you need to make sure that you know them, you understand them clearly. So we've got this question here that I want to start with. So this is the question that I'll start with. I'll be explaining even as we'll be answering this particular question. The question is saying the figure below shows a simple pendulum that oscillates between positions A and C. So this gets to oscillates between position A and a C, which is there. It takes 2.0, so it takes 2.0 seconds to go from A to C. So from A to C and back to the midpoint B. This is what is happening. Before we even answer the questions that are given here, calculate period of a pendulum, frequency of a pendulum. Before we calculate this, we need to understand the period. So before we even calculate those, I want us to look at these two words, period and frequency. So even as we are looking at these two words, the period and the frequency. So this is not only period, but period of a pendulum. And this is frequency of a pendulum. Sometimes a question will come where they are going to tell you that define period of a pendulum. So each time you are defining period of a pendulum is time taken for a complete oscillation. So the time taken for a complete oscillation. What do we mean when I say for a complete oscillation? So time taken for a complete oscillation, I mean that the time that you take for this one to move from here, when it moves from here to there and back to what? Back to C. That is a complete oscillation. So time taken for complete oscillation is what we get to call as what? Period. This is what you need to know. And when we are talking about frequency, frequency is just the number of complete oscillations that are made per second. So the number of oscillations that are made per second is what we are calling what? Frequency. So there are formulas that we get to use. For period, the SI unit for period, SI unit for period is seconds. So this one is measured in what? Seconds. The SI unit for frequency is what? So the SI unit for frequency is what we call Hertz. HZ. This is what you are supposed to know. This is what you need to know and understand. So these are some of the important things that you need to take note of. These are some of the important things that you need to understand. So these are questions that can come in an exam. These are questions that you need to take note of. So you need to focus on how this thing is moving from here to B. From B it moved to C, and it came back to what? Came back to B. So this is how it is moving. It is moving like this, like this. This is how it is moving. So in this case now, you need to know these intervals when it just moves from position A to B. Are you able to calculate these two? So you need to know that if you are told to find period is given by the formula T over N. This is the formula that we get to use if we want to find what? Period. The T here is the time taken, and the N there is the number of what? Oscillation. So make sure you understand this. This one is the number of oscillation. Number of what? Oscillation. This is what you need to understand. And the time there is the time, the T, small letter T here. This is the time. Time taken. So these are two important things that each student is supposed to understand. And if you are taught to find the frequency, make sure you get this. Frequency is just given by the formula 1 over capital letter T. This is what? This is the period. So 1 over period. If you don't want to do this, you can just go direct where you say N over T. This is also a formula that can be used if you want to find the frequency. Hope you are able to see. I believe people have tuned in. You are able to follow what I'm doing. So these are important things that you need to take note of. You need to make sure that you understand how these things are working. I can see Rebecca saying good morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing this morning? So this is what you need to take note of. This is what you need to understand. Have you seen these formulas? So I want you to get these formulas. I want you to understand these formulas. So before we even go very far, I want to put a simple diagram so that if we just start answering this one will be very simple. So this is just a foundation that I'm putting here so that you get to understand these things. So even as I'm teaching, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to share and comment. So let me see the people that are watching. Hope we are able to see this. We are able to understand this part. So you've got something that is like this. This is just something that I want you to understand. Something like this. So I want you to understand this. So as this thing, let me say this is A, same diagram, B and C. So for a complete oscillation is what? When N is equal to 1. Make sure you understand this. If N is equal to 1 in these formulas that I've written here, which means it must move from A, it will go to B, to go to C, back to A, back to B, and back to A. So this is what? A complete oscillation, meaning that N is 1. So when it has moved from A to C and back to A, that is complete what? Oscillation. So from this point to C, from C back to A, this is what we call a complete oscillation, where N is equal to what? 1. But if it has moved from here, from A to B, you need to know what N is. So if it has moved from A to B, what is N? What is the value of N? So the value of N from A to B, these are intervals. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the total number is what? 4. So when it has just moved from A to B, meaning that it is 1 over what? 1 over 4. N is equal to 1 over 4. If it has just moved from this to that. If it has moved from A to C, have you seen? If this has moved from A to C, A to C, meaning that n is equal to 2 over 4. This is just the same as half. Hope you are able to see this. You are able to understand. I'm teaching you how we get to find the values. So this is what you need to get. If it has moved from, so let me do this. If it has moved from A to C, then back to B. Back to what? Back to B. Like in this particular question that we have. It takes 2.05 seconds to go from A to C. So moving from A to C and back to midpoint B. If it has moved like this. So from here mean 1, 2, 3. So it is covering 3 slots there. So meaning that it is n is equal to what? 3 over 4. This is the n we are going to use even on this particular question. So if it has moved from A to C and back to what? And back to B. It means that 1, 2, 3. So 3 over the total number 4. Only this last. So it 1, 2, 3. 3 over 4. But if it has moved from A to C and back to A, meaning that n is what? N is 1. Because it is going to be 4 over 4, which is equal to 1. Hope you've seen how we get to find the value of n. These are things that you need to know. These are parts that you need to take note of. So make sure that you understand this way of answering questions. Let us now go back to this question that we are taught. This is just a simple lesson that I had for you. This is something very simple that I want you to understand. We see how questions get to come. Are you able to answer questions that can come like this in an exam? So the first question here, period. Period is equal to what? Period is equal to, that is this formula that I've written here, which is T over N. This is time. This is number of what? Oscillation. So I'm going to say that period capital letter T. So period is capital letter T. So I will say capital letter T like this is equal to what? T, time. What is the time? 2.05. N, what is N? N is 3 over what? Over 4. N there is 3 over 4. So when you type on your calculator, 3 over 4 can also be written as what? 0.75. You just divide. So when you divide on your calculator, you are going to have 0.75. So N, 3 over 4 is just the same as 0.75. Then you punch this on your calculator. So where we are going to do this, 2.05 divide 0.75. What answer are we getting? We are getting 2.73333. So it's 73 seconds. Meaning that this answer, this is the what? This is the period. This is how we get to find the period. So these are the procedures that you are supposed to do. These are the things that you need to find. Just like this, you are done. So the most important thing is knowing the value of n. Once you know the value of n, then things won't be that difficult. Hope you are able to see. So I'm not only teaching you how to answer this particular question, but I'm teaching you how you can answer a similar question that gets to come. I've told you that the major thing that you are supposed to know here is n. Once you know the value of n and the time, then you can answer anything that you are told. You can calculate for anything. These are simple things that you are supposed to know. These are simple things. So the diagram will always be like this. Have you seen? It will always be like this. We can put this showing that it is hanged somewhere. So we go to the frequency. I told you that frequency, we can use two formulas. 1 over period or N over T. Just one and the same. So 1 over, what is our period? 1 over period. So which means that 1 over, what is our period? 2.73. So meaning that, what is the answer there when we divide? 1 divide 2.73. What answer are we getting? The answer that we are getting is 0.366. So I can say 6, that's good. So here I can put a 7. 3, 7 like this. Then I say heads. These are the units. Have you seen? This is how you get to answer these questions. Just like this, you are done. So these are procedures that you need to do. These are some of the things that you need to take advantage of if they are to come in an exam. Have you seen? Just like this, you know how to calculate the period. You need to know how to calculate the what? The frequency. So this is how you need to answer these questions. This is how you need to get to know this. These are simple things that you need to know. This is something that you need to understand. So before I even conclude this, let us now make another question. Let's say you've got a question like this. So this is how you get to answer them. Let's say you've got a question like this. So I'm going to use the same information here. Let me just change the question a bit. You've got something like this. So the same people that are watching, I want to see how we are going to answer this. So I'm going to say it takes 1.07 seconds to move from A to B. This is the question. So, and here is my pendulum. Something like this. This is what you are given. This is A, B, this is C. So this is how it is moving, just like that. Then we want to calculate two things here. Want to calculate the period of a pendulum. Calculate the period of a pendulum. B, want to calculate the frequency of a pendulum. These are two things that we want to calculate. How can we calculate this? Have you seen the way this particular question is? I want you to see how we are going to answer this question. This is how questions can come. This is how questions get to come in an exam. It will just be like this. Have you seen? So between position A and C. Then here it takes, you are given the time here. It takes what? 1.07. So it takes 1.07 seconds to move from A to B. So from A to B. So what is the value of N? The value of N, I told you that if it moves from A to B, it is just 1 over 4. 1 over 4 can also be as what? 0.25 when you divide. So meaning that this is the value of N as 0.25. It is just 1 over 4. Once you know the N, then you can just go direct, because the time is what? The time is given. The time is always given. So once you know the value of N, then everything automatically, everything will become simple. So this is N 1 over what? 1 over 4, which is just the same as this. This is just one and the same. So meaning that the value here, what we are going to calculate. So I want to see people that are following. How many people are following? So solutions here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say period is given by the formula T over N. I know that this is the formula I'm going to use, where I'm going to say period is equal to, what is the time? The time is this one. This is the time given, which is 1.07 over, what is the value of N? It is just moving from A to B, which is this one. This is the value of N, which is 0.25. So meaning that period is equal to what? How many people are following? How many people have got calculators wherever they are? So what is the answer there? I want to see people that have got calculators. How many people are able to follow? When you divide there, what answer are you getting? What is your answer there? So 1.07 you divide by 0.25. What answer? What is your answer? What answer are you getting when you divide there? What answer are you going to have? What answer are you getting? What is your answer? So when you divide there, the answer that you are supposed to have, so when we divide, the answer there is supposed to be 4 point. So the answer I'm getting is 4.28 seconds. So meaning that this is my what? This is my period of a pendulum. So this is how you need to find this. This is how you need to get this. Just like this. This is how we get to answer these questions. So, okay, I can see Elizabeth, we found the same answer. So, Elizabeth has also found, she has also found 4.28. So, the answer is just the same. So, this is how you need to answer them. You just need to understand the question. You understand what you are told and what you are given. I've told you that the major thing here is knowing the value of what? Knowing the value of N. You need to know the value that is here. So you need to understand the value of N. This is the most important thing that you need to know. So let's make sure that we know how to find this. We go to frequency. Frequency is equal to 1 over period. You need to find the frequency. If you don't want to use this particular formula, this is what we do. It is N over what? Over T. So you can use any of those formulas. You are still going to find the same answer. You can use this one or that one. You're still going to find the same answer. So we say 1 over period 4.28. What is our answer there? And here, when we say N, we know N is 0.25. I just want to show you that we're still going to get the same answer. Over what? Over time. What is time? What is time? 1. 1.07. So I just want to show you that when you use that formula or that other formula, you are still going to get the same answer. Please, sir, I get where you found 0.25. I'm not understanding your question. Kindly rephrase it. How to find 0.25, or what do you mean? Or maybe that's when you've just joined in, because when I was starting, I was explaining these things. So I think that's when you've just joined in. So if that's when you've just joined in, then you can just watch the introduction when I was starting. How to find the value of N, the 0.25. Okay, so I want us to calculate that. So when I say 1 divide 4.28. What is the answer? The answer that I'm getting, my calculator is giving me 0.23. 0.23 has. I put as there. What about that one? If I calculate that one, 0.25 divide 1.07. What is the answer? I'm also getting the same answer. So you can use this one, 1 over period or N over T. These are two formulas that you can use. So make sure that you understand this way of answering questions. This is how you are supposed to know. This is how you need to answer questions even in an exam. So you just get the data that is given. You use that data to answer these questions. So these are simple questions that I wanted to revise with you. I just wanted to show you how we get to answer questions under the pendulum. So for those of you that want to join me, those of you that want to join my online lessons where I get to teach on a daily basis, this is the number that you need to call. That is my number there. You need to call that number that is there. So that is the number. That is my number. You can contact me on that number. Mathematics, we start at 20 hours. Science, we start at 21 hours. This is done on a daily basis. So hope we've revised through something here. We have recorded what we had to forget. So these things will help you. So make sure that we stay connected. Every day 05, we keep revising through something. Every day we keep revising through something. By the time you are writing your exams, everything will be clear. You are going to know everything we are revising. So it is also an added advantage if you start my online lessons where when I teach you 21 hours in science, again 05, we are also revising through. So by so doing, you are keeping your mind active. So these are just some of the things. And it is good if you are able to write down these things in your book for the sake of revisions. You won't be able to access this video again, but if you write some notes in your book, you'll be able to go back to this and revise through more. So this is where I'm going to end from. This is where I've ended from. Hope you've seen how to answer a question under the pendulum. Thank you so much. So don't forget to like, don't forget to share. So this is what you need to know. This is what you need to understand. Thank you so much.